Hello everyone, welcome to Wi-Fi Learn. In this video, we can see about mesh analysis. Mesh. What does mean by mesh? If the loop in a circuit does not enclose any other loop inside, then the loop can be called as a mesh. Or it can be defined in other words also. Mesh is simply a path through the circuit that starts in one end and ends in the same place. It starts and ends in the same place. That is termed as a mesh. Here in this circuit, it has two meshes. This is one mesh and this is one mesh. Okay. See, when you start here, this mesh, in the first mesh, it starts from positive terminal and it goes through here and it follows a path and it returns an end in the same path. A mesh is simply a path through the circuit that starts and ends in the same place. That does not have any other loop inside it. So, it is termed as a mesh. So, mesh can be defined as a mesh is simply a path through the circuit, through a circuit that starts and ends in same place. If the loop in the circuit does not enclose any other loop, then that loop is also termed as a mesh. These are the definitions of the mesh. Now let's move on to the topic. It is very easy. In mesh analysis, we will consider the current flowing in each mesh. Current flowing in each mesh are considered in this method. Hence, mesh analysis is also termed as a mesh current analysis or mesh current method. Mesh current method. Consider any of the branch. A branch is a path of two nodes and it contains the circuit elements. Right? In this branch, it has two nodes. Each branch has two nodes and it has contains circuit element. If a branch belongs to only one mesh, for example, this RA resistance belongs to only one mesh, then that branch current will be equal to the mesh current. Here, this is a RA branch or this is a branch. The resistance RA is a branch which belongs to mesh 1 alone. So, the current flowing through that resistance is a current of that mesh. And if a branch is common to two meshes, then that branch current will be equal to sum or difference. That is adding or difference of the two mesh currents when they have same polarity or opposite polarity. Here in this figure, this RB resistance branch is common to two meshes present here. So, while finding the mesh analysis or mesh current method or while finding those current value, there may be summing of I1 and I2 or subtraction of I1 and I2. Depending upon the polarity, the current flowing through this RB can be varied. There are some procedure in this mesh analysis method. Follow these steps while solving the electrical network using a mesh current method. First step is step 1. Identify the meshes in the circuit and label the mesh currents either in anti-clockwise direction or a clockwise direction. Here in this figure, I have mentioned the current in the clockwise direction. There are two meshes and I have mentioned the current in clockwise direction. It is the first step. Identify meshes and label the mesh currents in either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Step 2. Step 2 is observe the amount of current that is flowing through each element in terms of mesh current. Right? Observe the amount of current that is flowing through each element. Now, the step 3 is write mesh equations to all the meshes that present in the circuit. Write the mesh equations to all the meshes that present in the circuit by using KVL and Ohm's law. Using KVL and Ohm's law. Write mesh equation to all meshes by using KVL and Ohm's law. And the last step, solve the mesh equations obtained in the step 3 in order to get the mesh currents. Okay? Equation can be solved by normal algebraic formula methods. Solve the mesh equations that are formed in step 3 to get mesh currents. So, these are the easy steps to find the current and the voltage which is flowing in the complex circuit. The voltage and current flowing in separate branches and separate element in a closed circuit can be found by using a mesh analysis method. Now let's take the circuit. We can find the mesh equations. We have understood these 4 steps. By using this first step, we can find the mesh equation of this circuit. This circuit has 2 meshes, right? This is one mesh and this is another mesh. First mesh starts from the positive terminal and it flows through RA, RB and ends in the negative terminal. In this mesh, it also has elements of RB, RC and ends in the negative terminal. First step is to identify the meshes and name the meshes and assume the currents are flowing in any clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. I have already assumed it is flowing in clockwise direction. Now we can write the mesh equation for the first mesh, mesh 1. Now apply a KVL and it starts from here. Assume this as a voltage VA and this as voltage VB. Okay, it is starting from negative to positive, right? The voltage has been increased, so there is a potential rise. If the potential, as I already discussed in KVL, the potential rise are represented in positive value. So positive VA. The current is flowing from here and it enters RA. Current is entering positive and leaves at the negative terminal. There is a potential fall. There is a potential drop. In KVL, I have already discussed the potential drop can be represented in negative. There is a potential drop from positive to negative. The potential has been dropped. So it can be denoted in negative value. This current is I1. So drop is given by, drop across RA is I1 into RA minus value. Current will be flowing here in the mesh through RB, right? The current flowing through RB and it produces a drop of positive and negative. When current flows through the passive element, the entering terminal would be positive and the leaving terminal would be negative. The drop across RB because of I1 is minus I1 into RB. And here there is another mesh which produces a current of I2 and this I2 also flowing through RB. I have already assumed both the currents are in clockwise direction. So if you consider this I2 to be flowing in RB, right? See here, this I2 will be flowing from negative to positive. This I2 will be flowing like this, right? In clockwise direction, it will be flowing from negative to positive. That there is a potential rise due to the I2 in RB. So there is a potential rise due to the I2 in RB. This potential rise can be represented by positive value, right? I have already discussed. So potential rise represented as positive I2 into RB. Positive I2 into RB. Got it? This RB is a branch which is common to both the meshes. So the current through this branch can be represented by sum or subtraction or difference between the currents flowing through this branch. It is a step number 2. By using this step, we can represent both the currents as a difference between I1 and I2 current will be flowing in RB. This current I1 causes a potential drop and this current I2 will causes a potential rise. So I have represent that as minus I1 RB plus I2 RB. According to KVL, summing of the potentials that occur in the circuit or that occur in the loop would be equal to 0. So VA minus I1 RA, if you take a RB as common, that is, if you take a minus RB as common, minus I2 plus I1 is equal to 0. That is VA minus I1 RA minus of RB, I1 minus I2. See, based on the step 2, we have got that difference between the two currents flowing in RB produces a potential drop. Okay, this is a voltage equation in the mesh 1. In mesh 2, we will get a voltage equation as, we have already assumed the current has been flowing in clockwise direction. If you assume that current flowing from here, right, there is a potential drop plus to negative. There is a potential fall due to the current I2. The potential drop will be represented in negative value minus I2 into RC. Again the current will be flowing from positive to negative. This VB here is not an energy source. It is not acting as a source here. It is acting like a sink. That is, it is acting like a load here. Since the current has been flowing from positive to negative, it is not leaving the positive terminal. It is entering the positive terminal. So it is acting like a load here. So it is also a potential drop. From positive to negative, the voltage has been reduced. So represent that as a potential fall. So minus VB, and again the current will be flowing from here to here. When I2 current flows through this, entering the RB terminal can be represented as positive and negative. When you take a main current as I2, then the current entering the RB would be of positive and the leaving would be of negative. Here it is a potential drop again, that is of minus I2 and RB. Minus I2 and RB. And RB is a branch which is common to both the meshes. So if you consider this I1 current is flowing in clockwise direction. Now see, the current is flowing in clockwise direction. Now the potential drop across RB due to the I2 has, as I already given as positive and negative here. Here it is entering in negative and leaving the positive. Right? If you consider this I1, it is entering the negative and leaving the positive. So there is a potential rise that can be represented by positive I1 into RB. This is the mesh equation. Now minus I2 RC minus VB. If you take a minus RB as common, minus I1 plus I2 is equal to 0, minus I2 RC minus VB minus RB of I2 minus I1 is equal to 0. This is the mesh equation for the second mesh. By solving both the equation, you will get the value of VA, VB, I1 and I2. You can solve either by matrix or you can solve by either normal arithmetic algebraic equation. Normally you can calculate by algebraic calculations or by using matrix or determinants. It is very easy to solve this equation. When you form the mesh equation, it is very easy to solve it. I hope you understood the concept of mesh analysis. If you have any doubt, please leave it in the comment section. And thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to Wi-Fi Learn. Thank you.